Dot. Polar bear. The polar bear is a large bear species that is native to the Arctic regions of the world, including the Arctic Ocean, the northern parts of Canada, Alaska, Greenland, Norway, and Russia. They are the largest land carnivores and are well adapted to the harsh and frigid environment in which they live. Polar bears have a thick layer of insulating fur underlayer of fat that helps them stay warm in the cold Arctic climate. They also have large, webbed paws that help them swim in the water and walk on the ice. They are excellent swimmers and can swim long distances in search of food, which mainly consists of seals, fish, and other marine mammals. Polar bears are solitary animals and are known for their strength and agility. They are also considered to be one of the most dangerous animals in the world and are best observed from a safe distance. Polar bears are threatened by climate change, hunting, and other human activities, and their populations are declining in many parts of the Arctic. Polar bears have a white fur coat that helps them blend in with the snow and ice. However, their skin underneath the fur is actually black, which helps them absorb heat from the sun. Adult male polar bears can weigh up to 1,500 pounds, while adult females are typically smaller, weighing around 500 to 600 pounds. Polar bears are excellent hunters and can smell prey from over a mile away. They often wait by holes in the ice where seals come up to breathe, and then pounce on them when they surface. Polar bears are strong swimmers and can swim at speeds of up to 6 miles per hour. They have been known to swim continuously for over 60 miles. Female polar bears give birth to their cubs in the winter months in a den that they dig in the snow. The cubs are born blind, deaf, and hairless and weigh only about 1 to 2 pounds. They stay with their mother for around 2.5 years before becoming independent. Polar bears are considered to be a vulnerable species and are protected under international law. Climate change is a major threat to their survival, as it is causing the sea ice they depend on for hunting to melt at an alarming rate. Despite their fierce reputation, polar bears are actually quite playful and have been observed engaging in games like wrestling and playing with objects like balls of ice. The Inuit people of the Arctic have traditionally hunted polar bears for their meat, fur, and other parts, and still do so today. However, strict hunting regulations are in place to ensure that the polar bear population is not overexploited. Polar bears are excellent at conserving energy, which is crucial for their survival in the harsh Arctic environment. They have been known to go without food for up to 6 months, living off their fat reserves during this time. Polar bears have a strong sense of smell, which they use to locate prey, but they also have an excellent sense of hearing and sight. Polar bears are expert hunters, but they are not always successful in catching their prey. Studies have shown that polar bears are successful in catching a seal only about 2% of the time they try. The polar bear's scientific name, Ursus maritimus, means maritime bear in Latin, reflecting its close association with the sea. Polar bears are at the top of the Arctic food chain and have no natural predators, although they may occasionally be killed by other bears or wolves. Polar bears are excellent diggers and can dig dens in the snow to protect themselves from harsh weather conditions. The oldest recorded polar bear lived to be 32 years old in captivity, while in the wild, polar bears typically live to be around 20 to 25 years old. Polar bears are excellent swimmers and can swim for several hours at a time, covering long distances in search of food or mates. Polar bears have been known to travel hundreds of miles across the sea ice in search of food, and they have been observed swimming for up to 60 miles at a time. In many indigenous cultures, the polar bear is considered a sacred animal and is often associated with strength, power, and wisdom. Polar bears have a thick layer of blubber that can be up to 4 inches thick, which helps them to conserve heat in their cold environment. The white fur of a polar bear appears to be a solid color, but it is actually made up of translucent hairs that reflect light, making them appear white. Polar bears have a special adaptation in their kidneys that allows them to drink salt water. They have the ability to filter out excess salt from their bodies, which is then excreted in their urine. The polar bear is the largest land carnivore in the world, with the males weighing up to 1,500 pounds and standing up to 10 feet tall when on their hind legs. The polar bear's paw is much larger than a human hand, measuring up to 12 inches in diameter. The soles of their feet are covered with small bumps called papillae, which help them to grip the ice. Polar bears have a slow metabolism and can survive on just one meal every 2 weeks. A female polar bear is known to give birth to 1 to 3 cubs at a time, with twins being the most common. Polar bear cubs are born blind, hairless, and weigh less than a pound. Polar bears are classified as marine mammals, as they spend most of their time in and around the water. Polar bears have been known to travel long distances on floating icebergs, sometimes getting stranded on land or far out at sea. Polar bears have been hunted by humans for centuries, primarily for their fur, meat, and other body parts. Conservation efforts have led to a decrease in hunting, but polar bear populations are still threatened by climate change and habitat loss.